Greetings from Argentina. I've got your energy stories for the last week of January 2024. And in the first one, the New Jersey Board of Public Utilities selected two offshore wind projects totaling 3.7 gigawatts in its third offshore wind solicitation round. Energy RE and Invenergy's 2,400 megawatt Leading Light project, and Corio Generation and Total Energy's 1,342 megawatt Alternative Energy 2 project were awarded contracts. New Jersey now has over 5.2 gigawatts of contracts against its 11 gigawatt goal for 2040. The state is also focused on supply chain, with the winning projects to use the New Jersey wind port for marshalling activities and procuring foundations and monopile towers from New Jersey-based facilities. Ørsted has withdrawn from its offtake contract for its combined 966 megawatt Skipjack Wind 1 and 2 development off Delmarva Peninsula. It will continue development and permitting activities while it looks to rebid at a later date. Meanwhile, BP in Ecuador announced they will restructure ownership in the jointly owned offshore wind projects, the 1,230 megawatt Beacon Wind 1 and 1,360 megawatt Beacon Wind 2, and the 816 megawatt Empire Wind 1 and 1,260 megawatt Empire 2, essentially swapping rights. BP will take over all of Beacon Wind, while Equinor will pick up Empire Wind. Equinor just bid Empire 1 into New York's fourth offshore wind solicitation. The two parties also agreed to terminate the offshore wind renewable energy certificate purchase and sale agreement for Beacon 1. The Edwards and Sandborn Solar Plus Energy Storage Project, the largest solar plus energy storage project in the U.S., has been commissioned. Its 1.9 million U.S.-made panels from First Solar will provide 875 megawatts of DC solar, combined with almost 3.3 gigawatt hours of batteries. The project has a 1.3 gigawatt, 1,300 megawatt interconnection capacity and is partially located on Edwards Air Force Base in California. Compared to the U.S., China is crushing solar, installing more solar panels last year than any other single nation has cumulatively developed. Its new 2023 record of 217 gigawatts eclipsed its 2022 record of 87 gigawatts. By contrast, the U.S. stands at a cumulative total of 175 gigawatts. Well, the U.S. Postal Service has announced the installation of its first set of EV charging stations at its South Atlanta sorting and delivery center. Hundreds more will follow, eventually supporting over 66,000 electric delivery vehicles. And the U.S. Department of Energy has announced it will award up to $30 million to fund research, development, and demonstration projects focused on improving the cybersecurity of clean energy resources. The focus will be on inverter-based resources, smart meters, sensors and control systems, virtual power plants, cloud-based systems, and distributed energy resource aggregations. Tesla sold a record 484,000 EVs in Q4 of 2023, with full record deliveries of 1.8 million vehicles. Of these, 1.2 million were Model Ys, making it the most sold vehicle of any type in the world. That's a pretty significant indication that the energy transition is for real. Connecticut increased its incentives available under its energy storage program so that residential customers can access up to $16,000 in upfront incentives, up from $7,500, while low-income customers' upfront incentives were raised from $400 per kilowatt hour to $600 per kilowatt hour. Customers in underserved communities can access upfront incentives of $450 per kWh, up from a previous $300 per kWh. And the state is targeting 1 gigawatt of energy storage by 2030. And finally, H2 Green Steel just nailed another round of 4.5 billion euros. That's about 4.9 billion US dollars for the world's first large-scale green hydrogen-based steel plant, with total financing now standing at 6.5 billion. It will build a gigascale electrolyzer plant in northern Sweden. About half of the initial 2.5 million metric tons of steel is already contracted for in binding 5 to 7 year contracts with European vehicle companies Mercedes-Benz, Porsche, Scania, and U.S. food conglomerate Cargill. Well, that's all for this week. Sorry for the background construction noise here in Salta, Argentina, and we'll see you again next week.